hell does good hair even mean? Figuring out if I'm a lesbian or bi. Woo, church. Ooh. And I was always working toward that girl instead of embracing who I am. You are so loved right now. I don't need you to do anything to be more loved. Let me show you how. Give yourself permission. Ooh, child, I'm gonna be up all night. Hey y'all, I haven't said y'all in a while. Y'all. Hey y'all, it's Stella, and today it's 2:22 in the morning. I started taking Zoloft like 2 months ago, and the insomnia thing that kicks in at 2 months has happened for the last week. So I just decided to wake up, shower, do my hair, do my makeup, do my nails, do my eyelashes, and film these videos. This video specifically though, I jumped out of bed to make because I wanted to make it. I've been feeling like I've been creating too much content because my spirit is like, Holy Spirit, activate. Like there's so much in my spirit to share, to say, to motivate, to whatever. But this video, I was like, you know what? Let me try to go to bed. I'm in a fast with church and they're like leaning with God. So I leaned in, I prayed, but then it made the fire just even hotter to make this video. So today I present to you, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission is the strongest thing I've ever done for myself. I've been slowly giving myself permission since like September. With the new year, I did not make a resolution. As a matter of fact, I felt pretty down the first week of 2023 because it just seemed like everyone made these grandiose resolutions and I hadn't come up with any yet, and I just felt inadequate. I felt like, man, everyone's gonna be so much further ahead than me. And then I don't know what happened, but God was like, because I didn't need you to do that. And in that first week of 2023, I learned this lesson of, you are so loved right now. I don't need you to do anything to be more loved. Let me show you how. The space God has provided in my life, and if you don't believe in God, this message, listen to it, how it'll resonate with you. It's important. The way I've been so taken care of, and this lesson since my breakup in July of, I am taking care of you as God, and I need you to trust me over man or any men I send your way. I need you to know I'm first. This grand lesson, right? I've been sinking in that. And the deeper I sink in that lesson, the more God's like, I just need you to be you. So quickly, and then we'll get into the top 10 things that will help you free yourself. I've been active in therapy, just working on everything. I cleaned the whole house. A lot of times in our heads, we have this thing of sweeping things under the rug. That's the unofficial definition of things that you go through, have been through, or traumas or whatever. You sweep them under the rug to forget about them. I've dug everything out of under the rugs. And in that process, when the under the area rug was clean and my house in my head was clean, I asked my therapist, I said, what now? I've been living in trauma, in who I was defined by because of how I grew up and the person my parents raised me. But now that I've worked through all of that, what now? I had a speed bump. My speed bump was, I am perfectionism OCD. Part of my perfectionism is this idea of being perfect, which I had a realization when I called my mom. I was like, Mom, the saying of imagine the woman you want to be and become her, how toxic that is. So in 2016, when I moved to LA, that's exactly what I did. I said, I'm going to be this person. And as I've lived life for the last 6-7 years, the person in my head was not matching who I am in the real physical world. And I didn't realize how damaging that saying was to me because I didn't feel good enough. I had imposter syndrome. I didn't feel like any of my success mattered because I wasn't the girl I envisioned in my head yet. And I was always working toward that girl instead of embracing who I am. So that's kind of the lesson today. Give yourself permission. In December, when I had that realization, I said, oh my gosh. Hey, self. Because I kind of have to, you got to gentle parent yourself, reparent yourself. Hey self, let's just be who you are. Let's just try what you actually want to experience in this life. And let's set that girl, that woman you have in your head down for a minute and embrace the person that you keep trying to shut up. And what that did is that made me move because I'm in such a spiritual journey and saying, hey God, in my head, this perfect image of myself is the perfect image of you. And I don't think I've worked through this yet. I think this is the first time I'm really putting all these dots together. And that perfect image of you is the only thing that's good enough to be loved, to be blessed, to be worthy of this abundant, fruitful life. Woo, church. And I think that's why God moved me out my bed at 1 a.m. and said, no, get up. You right. You're supposed to be thinking about that video. You right. Go make that video right now. And so it's this image of my head, and that is what's in alignment with God because of who I was in the physical, my sex series, my provocative pictures, my questioning sexuality, those things about myself. Those didn't feel good enough for God. And those didn't feel like they could be loved. And then God just like, girl, I keep trying to tell you there's nothing you can do. You beat me down, beat me down, beat me down. Just so I could look up and say, yo, you're still here? First of all, child, I didn't know all this was gonna happen, girl. I didn't know all, look, I had a plan of what I was gonna say. And woo! And in the midst of that, it was so funny because I had already started making moves. Like I've wanted to do the big shop. I've told you guys this for years. Too scared to do it. And I had this moment when I woke up and realized, wow, I'm chasing this perfect person that doesn't exist. Not that she can't exist one day, but it's made me miss all the in-between of becoming her. That I'm missing out on all the blessings I've been receiving, blessings I've been able to give, the movements I've made in my life because, hey, I'm not worthy of them because I'm not her. And it's this moment where it was just like, God's like, you're enough. And what I did in that moment is I just ran. I ran toward everything I've hid from in my own life that maybe didn't match her so I could figure it out for myself in hopes of going deeper with God because God, you really love me like you say you love me. You've proven it to me way more than I'm worthy of. So let's go all the way. I've cleaned out my whole closet. I've cleaned out under the rug. Everything's out in the open, processed, healed from, worked through. What's next? You. You. Today I'm going to share the top 10 things in my life that I gave myself permission to do that I believe in the 1 week. We've been in 2023 for 2 weeks now, but I do believe that this one last week of my life, preparation I didn't even know was happening months before, and to God since my birthright. One, I feel exactly where I am. Two, all this weight I've been holding for years has been lifted. And I'm hoping that through my top 10, you will look at yourself as maybe not the person that you want to become, but respecting more of who you are right now and transition to becoming that person. Cliche as it is, life's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Be that testament today. Not gonna lie, I wrote them in my phone, and actually I had insomnia last night and I wrote all these things in my phone, but I had titled it. The title, Give Yourself Permission, didn't come to me until today. But last night, the real last night, I couldn't sleep. Let's see, I wrote this at 3:26 in the morning, which is my angel number. Crazy. I wrote it at 3:26 in the morning and I titled it 10 Reasons I'm Proud of Myself. That's what I was gonna name the video. So let's get into it. Number 1, Zoloft. Mental health is so big and I've preached so much on this channel, so I'm going to briefly go through this so you don't have to hear me preach this 1,000,001 times. Mental health is so important. If you are healthy in your mental health, fantastic. If you know if there's something off, there are so many resources that are free. If you have insurance, there are therapists available to you. There's so many resources to aid you in your mental health. And the best thing I did for myself in November 2022 was get on Zoloft, which is an anti-anxiety medication. We realized that a lot of like my depression stuff, diagnosis with ADHD, all that's pretty much linked to my anxiety. Not the ADHD so much, but a lot of these other things I was experiencing. And I took control of my anxiety. And it's been a struggle. I didn't want to be seen as the person who takes meds, you know? I didn't want the stereotypes that come along with that. But honestly, it's made me so much more relaxed in my mind, in myself. I'm not preaching medication, but I am preaching proactivity. If you feel like maybe talk therapy, I thought talk therapy was going to be enough for me, where you go speak with a therapist. I did that for 2 years. After 2 years, I said enough's enough. I'm still feeling these things that talk therapy is supposed to heal me from. And yes, I have tools. I need something more. And I learned that medication is only 20% of the healing, 20% of the remedy. 80% is the talk therapy, and being able to walk through your emotions and build these tools and build these healthy mindsets and have a secure attachment style through that process of learning. But for myself, destigmatizing medications for mental illnesses, the thing I think that switched for me is when people were like, you wouldn't second guess getting heart medication if you needed it. It would be a no-brainer. It would be, I need this to survive. Great. I need this to get better. Great. Same thing. I don't need to be on this forever, but my brain needs the serotonin assistance right now, period. You don't need to live in this personal hell because you think you can just pray your way out of medication, or you could just talk your way out of medication. For some people, sure. For me, no. And one thing that helped me be more secure in that too is I was in church and my pastor said, you talk to God first. And a lot of people you hear, you talk to God only. And that blew my mind. There are probably so many opportunities in life that I've missed because I was like, well, God didn't give it to me. I consult God, but what about the people he sends you to? What about the emails you get? What about the phone calls you're ignoring? What about the text messages you're ignoring? God first, people second, but not God only. And when I heard that, I just felt like so supported in all these other areas. So I know I preach mental health all the time, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but honestly, best thing I could have done for myself, except this insomnia, which sucks, but I've already told my nurse and we're working on it. She told me to switch the medication time. So we're gonna give it a shot. So far it's not working. That's number one. All right, number two is free will. Now this started as a joke between me and my friends, and it has quickly turned into, like free will. So what happened is in my dining room, I have a bench. I saw this gorgeous table on Pinterest when I was like getting my home together. And they had this beautiful table. They had 2 chairs, and instead of 4 chairs, on the other side, they had a bench. So I was like, I want a bench. I would have never thought to put a bench at my in-home dining table. It's awesome. So I put this bench in, and as a joke, we do girls' dinners every week. I leaned back and I made a joke. I was like, this is literally free will, because I would have got my butt beat as a kid if I would have leaned back in a chair, or at least yelled at like, stop, don't do that in that chair. If you know, you know. I made the joke. I was like, oh, free will. It was a joke for a minute. And then one Wednesday when we got together, we got into the conversation of free will and how we're so conditioned to do so many things in life, and we literally have free will. So I feel like in a way it's so healing to my inner child. I feel like my inner child is so happy now. I've just let her live. I was doing the dumbest. We were just having so much fun doing the dumbest stuff. Like the other day my friend was over and I had my feet on the wall and I was like, free will, because if I would have done this as a kid, I was like, can you imagine? Like, this is how traumatic, right? I told her, I was like, can you imagine getting beat for this as a kid with your feet on the wall? She was like, no. And I was like, what? She's like, I would not have gotten beat for that. So like our life experiences are so different, and just allowing ourselves to live, obviously within safe regulation, it's just so fun. Like my feet on the wall, I'm not gonna do that every day, but just in one moment, like no one's dying by me doing that. If there is a mark, there shouldn't be. It's one time. I can clean it. Like there's so many things we're so regulated in our lives that we've been conditioned to do, to act, to naturally experience, that we don't even question. So free will, that's been the most fun thing I've been doing. Like just so many random things, like, oh, free will. And now me and my friends all the time will just do what our inner hearts want to do. And we're like, free will. Like it's just, I don't even want to get into all the stuff we've done, but it's just so much fun. So I definitely recommend, and also want to just give the note of let yourself just enjoy this life and give yourself permission, give yourself free will to be like, I want to twerk on my balcony at 2:42 in the morning. That's what I'm gonna do right now. Like whatever, who's that harming? Nobody. Live your life. All right, number 3, we did already talk about this a little bit. Therapy, unload everything. Now my first go round of therapy, I hit a lot still. I didn't talk about my deepest stuff I needed to talk about, my deepest traumas. I talked about one trauma and thought I was doing something. And then when I stopped going to therapy because I thought it was better, I wasn't. Last year in 2022, I decided to literally unload everything on my heart. Everything. And then even last 2 sessions ago, when I thought I had let everything go, something else I didn't even realize I was gatekeeping out of shame. I was like, hey, this is what I think sometimes. This is what I feel sometimes. Can we work through this? Best thing ever. It's so much validation you're given. Even if you can't afford a therapist, say it out loud. We've talked about this too. Last year, I just got this new thing of saying stuff out loud. Sometimes we think so many things that we don't express it. And so it never is real. And so we'll be thinking things for literally years, and we'll say it out loud, and that's when we'll be able to understand it, and that's when we'll be able to process it. So if you're not going to take the therapy route, if you can't, I completely understand. Just say it out loud at minimum. Say your thoughts out loud so you can hear yourself. Good or bad, quote unquote, hear yourself. Respect yourself. That is a form of self-respect. Saying, hey, I hear you and your thoughts. Let me process them. To me, If it sounds crazy to you, you're not ready. Number 4, I read the Bible for a year. On Monday, we will be doing week 53 of Bible study. Being that consistent in something for a year feels so beautiful. Went by so fast. And just consistency and learning what to do when you are not always in love with your relationship with God, when you're feeling that strain or you're burnt out, and just all the ins and out of what a year has to offer, the good times, the pits of hell, all the travel and the family and this someone's in town and someone's calling, and I gotta do Bible study Monday night and dedicating time every week to read, and every Monday through Friday reading the Bible. You did it, and then you blink and you're like, a year's gone by, and I'm really proud of myself for that. But I gave myself permission to do that, because I've always wanted to read the Bible. If I'm like, I follow something, there's so many things I hear about the Bible, I want to know about the Bible, so let me read it for myself. I didn't read the whole Bible in a year. I counted it one time, and it looks like we have like a year and a half left, just based on the study we're going through. But I gave myself permission to do what the hell I wanted to do. And even though it felt like a big task, I touched it, and it's still happening a year later. So I'm very proud of that. Happy I gave myself permission to do that. Because I don't want to be 45 thinking, I'm still hearing about Sean talk about the Bible, some verse I never even read for myself. And now that I've read the Bible for a year, it's cool to go to church and hear something be like, I read that, and I can like connect all the pieces and remember names I forgot. It's fun. Number 5, big one, ironically after talking about the Bible for a year. Figuring out if I'm a lesbian or bi. This one is shocking to so many people. I am straight, but if you did not see the TikToks, I had to let myself figure that out. For years, I've questioned it. I've never done anything about it, never slept with a woman, never dated a woman. And the only reason I really thought that was because in 7th grade, I was attracted to someone, and then a girl. And then in 6th, and she was not gay, and I didn't even know what gay was. I grew up with a very conservative household, so like that was like not even anything I touched. And then 16, fell in love with my best friend. We kissed. She was my first kiss. She was not gay. And then men disappoint me constantly. So I finally opened up to my therapist about this, because I had made the decision before therapy, like before I talked to her about it, to like give myself the chance to try. And I always have this strong urge of like, I'm gay, right after disappointing breakups. And I recently stopped talking to someone. I was dating 2 people at the same time, which is a whole nother video. I've never dated 2 people at once. They both knew I was dating someone else. And it was not commitment, right? It's just dating. Like, that's what dating is. You date. You don't commit your life to someone. I stopped talking to one person because he was just so disappointing. And the other person I have so much fun with, and I bring this up to him, like, hey, like, think I might like girls, like, gotta figure this out. Super supportive. He's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, like, figure that out. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I set up a dating app on her. I'm like, I'm gonna go on a date with a girl. It was so scary, but I just felt this, like, I need to do this. Ironically, therapy got pushed to the day of this date, and I was like, something just doesn't feel right. So the night before, my friend was over, and she would hug me. She's like, oh, we're almost bumping coochies. You're gonna be doing that. And my immediate reaction was like, no. And she's like, girl, you are not gay. I was like, no, but I think I am. I was like, I can't see myself with a woman, but maybe sexually, but I can't like envision my life with a woman. Like, I think when I was younger, I thought studs were hot, and I don't even think like, I'm not even attracted to like femmes or studs or any. I'm just not anymore. I'm just not. I think I've also noticed like personal preferences changed a lot with healing a lot of my childhood trauma. I'm not as like attracted to things that I was traumatized by as a child, which is also very interesting. Next day in therapy, walking through this, and then I realized she did reverse psychology on me, but it's okay. The first thing, we're talking through it all, and I was like, hey, my friend made up a good point, because I was like, I want to be a passenger princess with a man, which means like the world is catered to me. But when I decided I wanted to go on a date with a woman, I was the more like chivalrous one. I was the one saying like, I want to pick you up. I planned the date. I just wanted to be more in my masculine energy. And she's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You just want to do for girls what you want done for yourself. I'm like, yeah, but is that right? And I thought about it. She's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I was like, I do. I want to give women what I want from men, but men disappoint me so much that I thought I was gay. And I've been through this before. If you saw my viral TikTok, that was my first viral TikTok. That was in 2021. I filmed it in Paris, and I'd gone through this. Like, I literally thought I was gay after like my last relationship. Just being able to talk through that with someone in a safe space. I would get judgment from my parents. Maybe not so much my mom. Definitely my dad. I have like my aunt, I've definitely talked to about this before. I definitely have friends I've talked to about this, but I never did anything for myself. And I gave myself permission to be like, I'm gonna go on a date. I'm gonna see if I like girls. Now, I didn't get to the date because I had this self-realization. I was like, oh my gosh, you're not gay. You just need to pick better men. I was like, here's the tickets, because we were gonna go do something fun. I was like, here's the tickets if you wanna go. She's like, I'm not holding you hostage if you wanna talk about it. I was like, no, because I didn't wanna be like, sorry girl, thought I was gay. Because that's like the worst thing I've heard. Like when you're bi and you're with a woman, you like, women feel used. And I didn't want that to happen either. So I was like, trying to play it cool. Like, I'm just not ready to date yet. But really, I was like, I just wanted to go on the date to like prove to myself you could do it. I didn't. So I'm not. But I gave myself permission to do that, to experience that, to set up a date, to be like, I'm scared as hell, but I'm committing. And that was nice. Not gay, not bi. Women are beautiful, but I'm not gay. I just need to pick better partners, which I've also been doing. So, and honestly, that feels like such a relief too, because there is so much stigma around being in the LGBTQIA plus community that I never wanted to experience it or even say it online, because all of a sudden you're branded as like gay or different or whatever. But again, giving myself permission to live in my truth. So next, I did the big chop. Number 6, I cut my damn hair off. I've wanted to do this for years, but my family, my people, ooh, your hair's so pretty. My hairdressers, oh, you got good hair. What the hell does good hair even mean? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Yeah, it's damaged, but when it's straightened, wow, I didn't think it was gonna do that. Look how long it is. Me, my hair falls out after weight loss surgery. I use my hair oil. This shit's growing out. This was all bald last year. Now I'm like, oh, you see my hair grows fast. My hair became my identity. I could never. And then the worst sickening part is the men. Oh, men I'm with, oh, your hair is so nice. Oh, your hair is so good. Like, oh, let me pull your hair. Like, oh, you have such long hair. Oh, your blonde wig. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Girl, do you see me? So I, for years, was like, oh no, your hair is like really pretty. Like, you can't cut it. I don't care how damaged it is as long as it looks good. But also me, before I had another realization, when you have kids, what you gonna do? You gonna do what your mama did, what your daddy did, throw extensions in, get a relax. I'm gonna drive you to go get a relaxer. You gonna do that to her too? I mean, if she wants it, we'll have another conversation, but you gonna do that to her too? And then when I stopped putting so much pressure on myself to having kids, it was, do you wanna know how to do your own hair? And I was like, oh, let's book this appointment. We're just gonna do it. We are just gonna do it. So I did it, and I'm very happy, and I'm learning about my hair and how to manage it, and it feels so good, because years on the internet too, like, girl, your hair looks horrible, to Stella, you did that. You know, you really washed that hair good. It just feels good to get that validation. Not gonna lie to you guys, because I take a lot on the internet to finally have some good validation. It's like, shh. And I know there's still some damage on there, but that's because I be bald, because I kept straightening that. But I gave myself permission to do something. I've been wanting to do that since I was 16, so 11 years ago, child. And it's just hair, it'll grow back, and I could throw a wig on. I think I'm getting braids in 2 weeks before I go to Europe. Like, I kind of want to rock it short in Europe. And I've been attracting way different men. Not that I'm like dating right now, because I'm not. I am, I'm dating someone right now, but we're not exclusive. So, but the men I've attracted, totally different ballgame. Like, they're more mature and like not in the club. When I went to the club yesterday, I was like, and I was like, whoa. Because Stella with the extensions in the club is like, damn. Stella with short hair and a little conservative outfit. I wore a turtleneck to the club yesterday. No one was having that. I was like, good, because I didn't want to meet your man in the club anyway. But in real life, been good. All right, number 7 is I got my first tattoo. You guys saw the video. If you didn't, it's linked down below. Don't put bumper stickers on a Bentley, a horrible quote from Kim Kardashian, and I lived by that my entire life. No one really close to me other than my aunt has tattoos. Like, no one in my family has tattoos. Tattoos were so taboo. Again, I grew up in a really conservative household, so tattoos were taboo. Like, no one had, like, you don't ruin your body type energy. And I think as we've all gotten older in my family, everyone's way different than we were when we were kids. And part of that was like, I've always wanted a tattoo. So I got my tattoo here. I designed it on Canva a year ago. And I wonder if they could copyright my tattoo because it's their font. Anyway, it stands with AYDG. It means and you're doing good. And It's from a meditation guy on YouTube, on the internet. His name's Kenneth Soares. In his guided meditations, he always says, and you're doing good. And he has one specific meditation that completely transformed my spiritual life when I moved to LA in 2016. It is the one consistent meditation I have not mastered yet. Like when I'm in it, I'm like, I haven't reached a life point where I can say this part of the meditation is complete. If you listen to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it's just always so beautiful because, and you're doing good is such a beautiful thing to tell yourself when you feel like you're inadequate, when you're not enough, when you could be doing so much more, when you're comparing. Hey, shut up. And you're doing good. You are doing good. Like, when I look at that, I'm like, you're right. Like, I was in the mall yesterday shopping and I was overwhelmed because I've never shopped in straight size sections I've never shopped in Express before. I shopped Express and I was like overwhelmed. I was like, oh my gosh, like, why is this not available to fat people? And then I saw stuff that was oversized. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would totally fit me 100 pounds ago. And why did no one tell me I could shop here? And I had to say, hey, I looked down and I was like, man, you're doing good. Just chill and enjoy the experience. That's kind of what this translates to me. Just chill, enjoy the experience of life. Number 8 is let myself break routines. I am someone who felt, again, that ideal image of me as a woman. I felt like if I wasn't living in what she looks like, then I wasn't enough. And a lot of that had to do with routines. If I wasn't waking up at 5:30 in the morning, my day was shot. If I woke up at 7 in the morning, I would think my day was over. Before I ever started therapy, that's the first thing I ever worked on in therapy. I said, hey, Arthur, that was my old therapist's name. If I sleep at 9 o'clock, if I'm still in bed at 9 o'clock, I feel like my whole day's done and I will lay in bed for the rest of the day thinking about how I wasted my day. So breaking routines in that sense, but also breaking routines and just, again, that kind of robot habit. I feel like it's different for me maybe because I'm single and I have no children. So my flexibility is greater, but this doesn't mean you can't implement it in your life to some extent. I woke up, right? And I'm like, okay, I usually wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, take Birkin for a walk. Cool. One morning, I wake up, maybe take Birkin out on a quick, outside real quick, come back inside, shower, then maybe go on a hike or, just whatever, switch it up. And what I feel like that does is, I read one time that as a kid, our days felt so much longer and our years felt so much longer because every day we had a new experience. We were learning something new. We were doing something new. And I brought that to my adult life. So I got out of my routine. It's like, hey, y'all want to drive to New York today? Sure. Like, I'm going to New York this week on a random, my sister sent me a TikTok and then my aunt was in front of me. I was like, hey, my sister just sent me this TikTok of something to do in New York. You want to go? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, when do you want to go? She's like, this day. I'm like, cool, let's go this day. That's breaking routine. For instance, a lot of my family in Texas thinks that Austin is so far from where they are. It's an hour away. So saying, hey, you know what, guys, we're going to go to Austin today for lunch. I mean, that's just travel because I love to travel, but it could mean so many other things. Instead of going to the gym, hey, I'm tired of running my 5K today. I'm going to go for a hike today. I would like to go fishing today. I want to go indoor ice skating today. I would like to paint right now. I'm in the middle of my routine in the afternoon of cleaning my home and washing dishes. Hey, I'm gonna set this down for an hour or maybe even tomorrow when I'm gonna go color in my adult coloring book. Breaking routine, letting your mind have something different to experience has been so freeing to me. Giving myself permission to say, hey, I think it's more giving myself permission to prioritize because it gives my life so much more meaning because it's like, what do I want to do today? What do I want to do right now? Maybe not even today. I don't even plan my days anymore. From someone who was like, if I'm not up by 5:30, I'm a failure too. I don't even know what I'm doing today. I am experiencing this experience of life. Obviously with responsibilities, like I have XYZ things to do. Living this way has made me handle my responsibilities so much faster because now I'm motivated. Like, hey, if I get this done by noon, I can go to the mall and shop or window shop. I do window shop a lot. Or I have so much more time now to film some TikToks or do some extra content, work on a personal business adventure or meet a friend. I don't know. There's so much, just so out of routine. So love that one. All right, next, number 9, started posting less like a job, more because I love it. This is my 7th year, first of all. I'm being a content creator this month. And because this is so accessible to everyone, people get really, really wrapped up in the idea of I have to be a certain kind of creator to make it. And I'm just letting you guys know, as long as your lighting is great and as long as your quality is good, this is possible. I'm still filming on the same camera from 7 years ago. I still I do not have the same Mac. I've had this MacBook since 2018. Certain things will help you advance your career. But when I stopped posting like a job, I was able to connect with you guys so much easier, build like a new community or get to know you guys more. I mean, obviously there's an obvious separation here. Like, I'm on this side of the camera, y'all are on that side. Being able to just chill and be like, hey, what's up? Like, seeing everyone is human, and I've always been good at that. But something about being like, I'm just gonna take this a little less seriously and just chill and enjoy being a content creator just made my content more fun. Like, for instance, tonight I have a burner account and I posted a video on that account. I do ASMR videos on that account of unboxings, restockings, refillings, like those kind of videos. And they barely get any views ever. I have like 100 followers on there and maybe 97 followers on there. And for fun tonight, I was like, I'm so tired of doing laundry pod restocks. I had Rangoons. My grandma wanted more and I made her some. I was like, I'm just gonna refill Rangoons as a joke, and literally thousands of views. Never get thousands of views on that account. So it just reminded me to remind people to like, hey, just enjoy the content creation. I'm not saying don't post a lot. I'm not saying try to make this a full-time job. I'm just saying enjoy the process a little more. Anything you do, like if you don't find joy in it, it's gonna suck the life out of you. And you only got one life to live, and time is moving fast. So number 10, started being purely grateful for what I used to pray for and beg for. Not just thanks for fulfilling the wish, but thanks for fulfilling me. I'll read that one more time. Started being purely grateful for what I used to pray and beg for. Know what it takes to do this full time. This has been my full-time job for 6 years. I could confidently say 6 years, but really 7. I know what it took to do this, and it put me in this fight or flight. It put me in this survival mode to be able to make this my job. And the problem with being on the internet and being a public figure, see, that's like imposter syndrome. Like, I am. It's okay, Stella, you are a public figure. So the problem with being a public figure is the feeling of like, and even before you consider yourself that, is the feeling of what's gonna be next. Am I gonna be interesting? Are things gonna evolve? Sometimes, no matter what field you're in, just stopping and saying, God, thank you for taking me from glory to glory and glory. I know we got more glories to glory to go, but hey, I'm gonna stop for a second. Thank you for my job. Thank you for that plaque. Thank you for community. Thank you for people I've seen in my comment section since 2018. Thank you for growth. Thank you for evolution. Thank you for telling me how to evolve with the times. Thank you for giving me something I feel like I'm good at. Today I was crying at the mall because I was like, God, because I got recognized at the mall today. And I was like, God, I just don't know why you like chose me to, I still tear up at that because it's like, it's that feeling of like, God, why me, right? And it's like just being grateful for even those moments of someone like, hey, like the girl was like, are you an Instagram influencer? I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I've seen your stuff. And it's like, why? Why me? Like, and maybe that's imposter syndrome, but for me, it's like, God, thank you. Like those moments stopped me in my tracks. I'm not really, I was driving out the mall, but I was like, God, just thank you. Just thank you. Saying thank you more. I get so wrapped up. I'm like, am I going to get good American, or what's going to happen in my career this year, and am I good, or what else do I need to create? What else do I need to do? What else do I need to, hey, God, thank you for this. You know, sometimes when I'm updating my website or I'm updating some kind of social platform I use for work, I see my bio. Matter of fact, on one of the websites, when I first started out, you have to kind of use what you've done to get more before like you really have your name established. And one of these old bios I have on this website, I didn't update till this week. It was this list of everyone I had worked with. It was this moment of like, wow. Honestly, one, because I was like, I don't need to scream what I've done anymore to the brands that come to me. My work is speaking for itself. My experiences, my community, my conversations are speaking for themselves. I don't need to scream, I've worked with this person, this person, this person, this person. It's cool, definitely. But that used to define me and who I was in this industry. And now I just look at that, like, I was looking at it the other day and I was like, God, like, you allowed that to happen in my life. And thank you for that. I don't know what that list, if I updated that list today, it'd probably be, but the fact that I was able to just see where the list had stopped, that could have been it if I quit. That could have been it for so many different reasons, but it wasn't. And just being grateful for that. just grateful more for what I've done, even though there's so much more to come. I'm more confident now that this is the life that God's chosen for me than something I just wished for. Because I used to think that. I used to have this imposter syndrome of like, God, are you sure this is what you want me to do in life? Like, especially when things weren't working out all the time, or I'd mess something up, or I'd open my big mouth and say something, and God, are you sure this is what you want from me? Anyway, really, really grateful for a lot more than I ask for nowadays. And stop. God, thank you for fulfilling this wish I had, but thank you for fulfilling me. Thank you for giving me something that has purpose. Thank you for the people who comment, who DM, like, Stella, you really helped me through this. You know, these things that I used to take so like easy, and I used to just pass them off me because it was too much to handle. Like, I had an impact in someone's life. So being more grateful for those moments, like, okay, I'm gonna read that person's story, because even though you think it's not real, like, you're affecting someone's real life in such a positive way. So yeah, that's you, sis. And being more grateful for those moments and taking them and being like, yeah, I did that. Woo! That's still a hard one for me, but it's an intention I do have. It's to say, you know what, like, I'm worthy enough to have done that for someone else in their life. This video was very long, but it was very important. It was very much on my heart to share this. I want, and this concept has been in the making for a while, but just this last week I've dived in. I cut my hair 1 week ago, got my tattoo 2 weeks ago. Like, you know, I'm just in this moment of life of like, what do you want to do? And now that I've done everything I used to feel shame about, like the tattoo, the hair, I'm like, hey, ooh, it's like, I'm so free right now. I'm like, God, all right, everything I feared, everything I'm ashamed of is laid out and done and dealt with and healed and whatever, and I'm still alive. So I can only be excited for what's next. Have fun. So thank you guys for watching this video. I love you. I will see you guys very, very soon. I'm about to go do some try on hauls right now with my insomnia. It is, see what time it is, 3:08 in the morning. So I got church in the morning. We're gonna figure that one out later, but I will see you guys really, really soon. Love and light. Bye.